above their head as they isolate with their 1-year-old son, Archie.
Yeah, now there's been 4 instances of drones flying over in the past week alone. The drones are believed to be owned by paparazzi, and some photos of them in their backyard have popped up online in the past few days. But because they have received death threats in the past, there's also the fear that the drone is not just something that's taking pictures.
Yeah, there's also reports that paparazzi are pursuing them in cars when they've been out driving, which of course was happening when Harry's mom, Princess Diana, died. Some are saying this is simply what you get if you're going to live in LA. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I'll tell you, geez, for Harry, I understand if this is a brand new world for him because, the rules that they were under when they were in the UK was, you don't take pictures of them at home. You don't fly drones over their property. There was a certain aspect of or a certain amount of protection and understanding and reason that they did have with paparazzi and photographers. But for me, the idea that this is something that Meghan is, and I don't want to be the person that comes down on Meghan. I'm just saying she comes from a different world where she was an actor and she was
Right.
on a successful show. And if Meghan's career continued on any sort of trajectory, that she would have, achieved some sort of great notoriety in the acting world. I think that you have come to terms with the idea that you will be hit by the paparazzi early on in her career, especially moving to LA. So I understand that it's a pain in the butt, but what I don't buy is that they're shocked by it.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. Seriously, Ubel says, seriously, just let them be. Maxine says, why did you move to LA then? They moved to the paparazzi capital of the world. Now they want us to feel bad for them. Tammy says, OMG, leave these people alone. Nelson says, surely there's a law against drones. I mean, we talked about this when Lindsay Lohan weighed in on them moving to LA, and she was kind of dumbfounded of why are you moving to LA if you're trying to have more private life? And I know, like we talked about the fact that when they were in BC, sure, there was a picture taken of Meghan when she was in a park, but I don't think in any way would they be dealing with what they're dealing with in LA if they were still in BC? Absolutely, there would be photographers there. I'm sure, LA, companies would send photographers up to BC, so it would still be an issue. But there's just such a huge infrastructure of paparazzi in LA. I just don't understand. Living in the Hollywood Hills, like I just don't get what their thought process is here, and that they didn't think this is going to happen. Not that they deserve it, but just the idea of
Yeah.
like people were saying, didn't you see this coming?
I'll say this, and I disagree with you. I think that it's much easier
How
for
dare
them to, I know, how dare I? I will say this, and because I've said this from the beginning, and that is if you are going to be Harry and Meghan and you do want to build some sort of life in a world that gets it and can accommodate for you and your status, LA is the place to do it. Living in a neighborhood with Brad Pitt, George Clooney, and Oprah Winfrey is better than living in a neighborhood where you are the biggest attraction there. And living in Victoria, BC, that airport in Victoria is not set up to bring in people of their status. There is no VIP backdoor entrance to a private airfield. It's a very small place and it is all about them. I think with LA, you can live a life where they can call somebody and there's protocols in place to deal with people like Harry and Meghan trying their best to live a regular life. And we know from people that you can live in LA and maybe you don't have drones flying over you, and I always use this as an example, which is, I don't know exactly when they disappeared, but Ava Mendes and Ryan Gosling seem to do very well, keeping private in a place like Los Angeles. And there's a ton of examples of people that can also do that. But I personally believe that if you want a sense of sanity, at least at the beginning, that Los Angeles protected in the way that that city runs and caters to people like those two, I think that that's their best bet, not Victoria.
Sherry says, God protect this beautiful family. They should be in Montana. That's a suggestion. Abigail says,
Meghan doesn't want to. Meghan didn't want to live at Frogmore.
With Kanye.
Meghan is not. Yeah, Meghan is not going to move to Montana. Like she's not that. Meghan was an actor who wanted to achieve greatness in show business, and then she fell in love and everything else, and that's fine. But she was on that path, and she feels that LA is the best place for them, and you have to let them do it, and they're going to go through what everybody else goes through.
Abigail says Meghan had a hard time adjusting to royal life. Now Harry has to adjust to regular life. He seems like it's easier for him than it was for her. I will just say, when they were in Victoria, we didn't really know what house they lived in. There was speculation, but we didn't see aerials of where they were. So that's all I'll say. I'm sure it would have been set up, but they were there for what, 3 months or something, 2 to 3 months. So we didn't see that much footage coming out of when they were there.
But if you talk to people who lived there, the understanding was that their life was